Hello and welcome everyone to episode 7 of book reading The Four Agreements. In last episode, we saw that during domestication how others' opinion can become our agreements. We heard a beautiful story which really made me think deeply within to find out what such agreements I have made with myself during my process of domestication. We also read that here no one is to blame because the people, the environment around us who domesticated us, they themselves didn't know what they were doing. And that is why it is very important to forgive them. That's what we heard, we read in last episode. Let's start today's episode with knowing what is the worst form of black magic. Author says, looking at everyday human interactions, imagine how many times we cast spells on each other with our word. Over time, this interaction has become the worst form of black magic and we call it gossip. Gossip is black magic at its very worst because it is pure poison. We learned how to gossip by agreement. When we were children, we heard the adults around us gossiping all the time, openly giving their opinions about other people. They even had opinions about people they didn't know. Emotional poison was transferred along with the opinions, and we learned this as the normal way to communicate. Gossiping has become the main form of communication in human society. It has become the way we feel close to each other because it makes us feel better to see someone else feel as badly as we do. There is an old expression that says, misery likes company, and people who are suffering in hell don't want to be all alone. Fear and suffering are an important part of the dream of the planet. They are how the dream of the planet keeps us down. Next, he gives a very interesting analogy of a human mind as a computer and how gossip can be compared with computer virus. He says, a computer virus is a piece of computer language written in the same language of all the other codes are written in, but with a harmful intent. This code is inserted into the program of your computer when you least expect it. Most of the time, even without your awareness. After this code has been introduced, your computer doesn't work quite right or it doesn't function at all because the codes get so mixed up with so many conflicting messages that it stops producing good results. Human gossip works exactly the same way. For example, you are beginning a new class with a new teacher and you have looked forward to it for a long time. On the first day of class, you run into someone who took the class before, who tells you, oh, that instructor was such a pompous jerk. He didn't know what he was talking about and he was a pervert too. So watch out. You are immediately imprinted with the word and the emotional code the person had when he was saying this. But what you are not aware of is his or her motivation in telling you. This person could be angry for failing the class or simply making an assumption based on fears and prejudices. But because you have learned to ingest information like a child, some part of you believes the gossip and you go on to the class. As the teacher speaks, you feel the poison come up inside you and you don't realize you see the teacher through the eyes of the person who gave you that gossip. Then you start talking to other people in the class about this. And they start to see the teacher in the same way, a jerk and a pervert. You really hate the class. And soon you decide to drop out. You blame the teacher, but It is gossip that is to blame. All of this mess can be caused by one little computer virus. One little piece of misinformation can break down communication between people, causing every person it touches to become infected and contagious to others. Imagine that every single time others gossip to you, they insert a computer virus into your mind, causing you to think a little less clearly every time. Then imagine that in an effort to clean up your own confusion and get some relief from the poison, you gossip and spread these viruses to someone else. Now imagine this pattern going on in a never ending chain between all the humans on earth. The result is a world full of humans who can only read information through circuits that are clogged with a poisonous, contagious virus. Once again, this poisonous virus is what the Toltecs called the mitote. You remember? We read about mitote, which is also called Maya in Indian tradition, in one of the previous episodes. So here, author says that once again, this poisonous virus is what the Toltecs called the mitote, which is the chaos of 1,000 different voices all trying to talk at once in the mind. Even worse are the black magicians or computer hackers who intentionally spread the virus. Think back to a time when you or someone you know was angry with someone else and desired revenge. In order to seek revenge, you said something to or about that person with the intention of spreading poison and making that person feel bad about him or herself. As children, we do this quite thoughtlessly, but as we grow older, we become much more calculated in our efforts to bring other people down. Then we lie to ourselves and say that person received a just punishment for their wrongdoing. When we see the world through a computer virus, it is easy to justify the cruelest behavior. What we don't see is that misuse of our word is putting us deeper and deeper into hell. Once again, he breaks this chapter here. I really enjoyed reading about the analogy of human mind as computer and gossip as computer virus and people who are black magicians who keep spreading this virus as computer hackers. What a wonderful and easy way from author to put this information in such easy language for us to understand. Did it fascinate you too? So we will stop here in this episode, and in the next episode we will see how we use the word with ourselves. Till now we have seen how our word which we are using are affecting other people, and in next episode we will read about how these words we use are affecting our own self and how to get the immunity from anybody putting negative spell on you, including yourself. Also, how you can measure this impeccability of your word with the level of your self-love. So very interesting information is coming ahead in next episode. Until next time, love and light.